Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angie Whitcomb. Our hope is that these candidate profiles and interviews will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2013 election. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to get out the vote on November 5th. Please visit the Chamber website to find out information about future candidate debates, as well as polling hours and locations. And thank you for making the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau your election information resource.
Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and today I am joined by Shakopee School Board candidate Jeremy Casper. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Jeremy, why don't you start out by giving our viewers at home a brief introduction of yourself?
So my name is Jeremy Casper. I am a resident of Shakopee. I've lived here for about 6 years. I'm married. I have Kate, who is a photographer, does portrait and wedding photography in town. We have 3 kids. We have Evie, who is our oldest, is currently in 1st grade at Eagle Creek Elementary. And then we have Logan, who is 3 years old, and then Helena, who we nicknamed Lena, who is currently 9 months old, almost 10 months old. A little bit more about myself. I am a software applications manager at Scott Carver Dakota CAP agency here in Shakopee. It's a local nonprofit, so part of what I do there is working on upgrading their applications so that we can better serve the clients within our community.
Great, great. Well, moving on to school district. In your view, Jeremy, what has the district done well over the last 5 years, and where do you see areas for improvement?
So one of the areas that I think the district has done a really good job over the past few years is one in relation to facilities. They got the facilities task force together in 2010. They worked through a bunch of scenarios, came out with a recommendation in 2011 for a second high school. You look at that, and the committee did a really good job of putting effort into that, looked at a bunch of options, did the best that they could to utilize the current space within the district. So by shifting Pearson into a 6th grade center, that allowed the district to kind of use the space that was available now and kind of put off building a new building until later, this decade, hopefully. One of the other areas I think they did a very good job of was the hiring of Rod Thompson. In terms of the school board or governing board in general, your top executive officer, selecting them is really job one of the school board. And from what I've seen from Rod, he has done an excellent job so far. So I think this district did a really good job, in the school board specifically, in choosing Rod as superintendent. So those were 2 of the big areas I'd say so far.
Okay. Any areas for improvement that you would change if elected?
One of the areas where I would change is, and the district is starting to move a little bit in that they need to do a better job of taking the data that they've collected, whether that be student test scores, attendance, and look at that data and try to figure out how can we raise student achievement. So are there areas where we're kind of seeing, hey, this program that we did at Sweeney did a really good job, so hey, let's see if we can replicate that throughout the district, or maybe, hey, we thought this program would improve student achievement, didn't quite pan out the way we did, so let's figure out, well, what is it? Was there something that we can tweak to make an improvement? So I think the district really needs to start looking at the data, come back and say, hey, where can we improve, and really set themselves. And the other areas, I think they kind of need to do a better job of setting very publicly stated goals of, here's where we want the district to be within the year, in 5 years, and try to strive to those goals. They should be achievable. And then they should, within those goals, look at it and, again, try to figure out how did we make the goal, and if not, what do we need to do to further improve.
Okay. What are the outputs that matter most to you, and how will you be accountable for them should you be elected to the school board?
So the outputs I think are important are making sure that students are successful. I mean, that's ultimately what the mission of the school district is. Whether that success is kids graduating and going to college, kids graduating, going to a 2-year to get technical skills, or just going out into the workforce. Every student's different, everyone learns different, so whatever it is, we want our students to be successful in the end. So, that's really the biggest output. There's various ways we can measure that. Graduation rates are one, test scores are another. There's many different ways. Graduation, as I said, is the big one. Also, I think one of the things I'd like to see the district do is, do a little bit more. Okay, once when they leave the door, graduate from 12th grade, is where are they 5-10 years down the line? Are they successful? Did they have a good time at college? Did we prepare them well for college? Did they go out into the workforce, and did the employers feel that we created well-prepared employees? So that's one of the things that I think we need to look at for outputs.
Whose interests should matter in the governance of a school district, and in what ways should they matter?
I think everybody's input should matter, whether it's students, teachers, parents, taxpayers, voters. Anybody who has a stake in the school district really should be included in that interest in that. To have a successful district, we really need to have all the parties working together. So we can't have successful students if we don't have quality staff. We can't have a quality district if the voters and the taxpayers don't support the district. So there's a balancing act that needs to be done there between the various interests, but ultimately why we're here is the mission of the district is to create lifelong learners, and that's what we need to make sure we focus on.
So how does the school board balance the need to provide a quality education for the students with the need to respond to the local taxpayer burden?
So I think that's where a lot of it is the school board cannot be down in the weeds, as I've heard a couple of people say at kids. What are those policies in that? So we have to constantly be evaluating. Okay, what are we doing for quality staff? Just last night at the school board, they were talking about the need to increase substitute pay because we're not quite getting the quality substitutes that the district would like. So that of course increased costs, but it's the idea there is we can increase that, see did that get us the quality, or is there another metric? So sometimes increasing the quality of staff doesn't necessarily mean increased costs. There's other ways we can increase costs. What we need to do is constantly be reevaluating and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what are we doing efficiently, what are we not doing efficiently, so that we can really offer the best education, the most effectively, and being very good stewards of the taxpayer dollar.
Great. Well, Jeremy, thank you very much for joining us here today and for giving the viewers at home a little bit of insight as to who you are.
Right. Thank you very much, Angie.
Thank you for joining this edition of the 2013 Meet the Candidates, brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Please be sure to check out the Chamber's website at shakopee.org for all information leading up to the November 5th, 2013 election.